What's going on, sports fans? Welcome to No Offseason Media. I'm your host, Amari Sports. In today's video, I'm going to go over the Week 5 picks. But before I get started, don't forget to leave a like. Don't forget to comment and subscribe. More content available. And also don't forget to click the notification bell wherever it may be. Click that and we'll notify you whenever I post a new video. But anyways, let's get it started. Week 5, Thursday night football. Indianapolis Colts traveling to Mile High to play the Denver Broncos. Denver is favored by 3.5 over Indianapolis. I like Denver to win in the cover and defeat the Colts. Number 1, Jonathan Taylor is out of this game. Number 2, the Colts offense is so much suspect. Matt Ryan has pretty much been sacked 15 times and has pretty much fumbled the ball 9 times and lost 3 of them. And with this one, Shaq Leonard is out. And most of the Colts games, when Shaq Leonard is out, they tend to lose the game. The only one they won was against Kansas City, who shot themselves in the foot. And I think Denver, with that defense who has been carrying the Broncos offense, I think they'll come into Mile High and prove a statement and say that we're still in this AFC race, despite being 2-2 and losing to the Raiders last week. So I really like Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos on offense to keep on pace against this Indianapolis defense. Minus Javonte Williams out for the year with the torn ACL, I still like the Broncos here. Hopefully Melvin Gordon can fix his fumbling issue like he had with the Chargers previously. So give me the Denver Broncos to defeat the Indianapolis Colts 23-16. Another London game on hand, Giants against the Packers. Green Bay is favored by 8.5 against New York. I like the Packers to win this game, but I like the Giants to cover. Number 1 is that the Packers just beat New England by 3 points, and they were a 9.5 to 10-point favorite last week. And the Giants, they are good as a road underdog in their matchups when they have Brian Daboll as their coach. Last road game that they had, they went to Tennessee and beat them, won the game, and covered the spread. Daniel Jones will play in this game. Tyrod Taylor, not so much with concussion issues. But Daniel Jones has a better stat line on the road than he does at home. At home, he's awful. On the road, he's better. So this game is across the pond, which is a road game for both teams. Aaron Rodgers hasn't been to London. That Green Bay Packers franchise never been to London. But the Giants have previously I think they're undefeated in London. But Dan Jones has never been there. I like the Giants to cover. But I think the Packers win outright because the Packers wide receivers are completely bad. We have saw that last week and a couple weeks even that prior. And I think the Giants and the Packers are the exact same team. Just different quarterbacks, obviously, from Aaron Rodgers to Daniel Jones. So give me the Green Bay Packers to win this game. But I think the Giants cover the 8.5. Packers win 27-20. Pittsburgh Steelers at the Buffalo Bills. Pittsburgh is a 14-point underdog against Buffalo. I'm going to take the Steelers to cover this game, but I think Buffalo wins it outright. Number 1, Mike Tomlin, off of these games where he's like a double-digit underdog, usually mostly covers, whether it's against a divisional opponent or anybody else. I still like Mike Tomlin here in the spot. And number 2 is that the Bills defense, even though they're getting Ed Oliver and potentially Tre'Davious White coming back, this is Kenny Pickett's official start. And they never seen film on Kenny Pickett. So this is going to be kind of a shot in the dark for the Buffalo Bills defense. And the Steelers defense, they got so much to worry about because they haven't won a game since TJ Watt has been out with injury. I think they're like 0-6 right now. But I really like the Steelers to cover, but I like Buffalo to win this game. 14 points is too much to give to any team. This team was down bad against the Ravens last week, and now they're getting 14 at home. Steelers coming off a loss to the Jets, a game that they should have won. I really like Buffalo here to win this game, but Steelers to cover this. Give me Buffalo to win 27-16, but fail to cover. The Los Angeles Chargers at the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland is a 3-point dog at home against the Chargers. Cleveland upset and Cleveland to cover. Number 1 is that the Cleveland Browns love to run the ball. All right. And that the Cleveland Browns average about 5 yards per rush, whether it's Nick Chubb or Kareem Hunt. All right. And the Chargers, they're the second worst when it comes to defending the run in terms of yardage per carry. They're the second worst. And the Cleveland Browns are the 8th best. All right. So I think the Browns run this football, keep Justin Herbert on the sideline, and pretty much chew clock until the end of the ball game. And number 2, Myles Garrett's coming back, potentially Jadeveon Clowney's coming back. The Chargers are missing their left tackle for the year, Rashawn Slater. I really like the Browns in this spot. The Browns will win this game, and I think they'll upset the Chargers. The public is all on the Chargers. I'm going the opposite direction. Cleveland gets a upset win at home, 26-23 over the Chargers. Chicago Bears at the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota is a 7-point favorite at home against Chicago. I like the Vikings to win this game and to cover against the Bears. The Bears offense is bad. They just scored 12 points last week. They scored 23 points against Houston's defense, but Houston, as we think, is a bad team. Kirk Cousins against Chicago has really had a bad start at the beginning, but after the past couple of years when Chicago has been bad, he has always gotten his way. And this is why I like the Vikings here. The Vikings, the Bears can't stop anybody from passing. They let Daniel Jones break off for a big run rushing. Also, Saquon Barkley was playing in the Wildcat last week as well too, and the Bears could not stop it. I think this is the spot where the Vikings run the ball down the Chicago Bears' throat. Give me the Minnesota Vikings to defeat the Chicago Bears 24-14. The Detroit Lions are traveling to Foxborough to play the New England Patriots. The Patriots are a 3-point favorite at home against the Lions. New England win this game in a cover. The public bet is all on Detroit. So I'm just going to go with New England here. And number 2 is that Bill Belichick would have his way against Jared Goff. He has always done that since, whether if that was in the Super Bowl, even back in 2020 when they had that rebuilding team, they still held Goff to a minimal amount of yardage. The run game is what killed him in that last time they played against Goff and McVay and the Rams. But this one is with the Detroit Lions. All right. And number 3 is that Detroit Lions, their defense is worst ranked ever. Anybody can score on them. Philadelphia scored on them. Washington scored on them. Whoever they played, they scored on them. And this is the reason why I like the Patriots. The Patriots will run the rock, keep the ball out of Bailey Zappe's hands, and pretty much make it easy for the rookie in his first career start. And I think the Patriots win this game at the end of the day. Amon-Ra St. Brown may not play in this game, but this is even more reason why I even like New England. This is a Belichick-led game, and this is Belichick's 400th game as a New England Patriots head coach. I think they'll show some fight in this game. Give me the Patriots to beat the Detroit Lions. Let's say 27-19. Patriots win. The Seattle Seahawks traveling to NOLA to play the New Orleans Saints. The Seahawks are a 5.5-point dog on the road against the Saints. I'm taking the Seahawks to cover, but I think New Orleans will win this game. Would I be surprised if Seattle wins? No. But I think 5.5 is too much to give to Seattle with this Saints offense that's so bad. All right. They went on down the pond, scored 25 points with Andy Dalton. I completely understand that. But whether it's Jameis playing or it's Dalton playing, they're not moving the chains. The defense is what helping them moving the chains by creating turnovers and sacks. And I understand that the Seahawks offensive line is still bad, but their 2 tackles who are rookies are showing out in good performances. They were able to run the rock against Detroit. Now, with the Saints, they're good against the run, but against the pass, that's where they're putrid. And I'm going to see that matchup between Marcus Lattimore and DK Metcalf. I think DK Metcalf will win this matchup against Marshawn. But in this matchup, I think 5.5 or even going up to 6 is just way too much to give the Seattle Seahawks. Geno is doing the exact same thing as Russell Wilson was doing back in 2012, managing the game. Don't put the ball in the harm's way. So I like the Saints to win this ball game against the Seattle Seahawks. Saints win 19-16. Pete Carroll has some fight with his team. Dennis Allen, not so much. The Miami Dolphins with Teddy Bridgewater traveling to the Meadowlands to play the New York Jets. Miami is favored by 3 points against the Jets. I'm taking Miami to win the cover. All right. Miami, despite having Tua gone, is going to be the exact same offense that we're seeing in San Francisco. Manage the game under Jimmy Garoppolo. Manage the game under Teddy Bridgewater. Run the ball with Raheem Mostert. Run the ball with Jeff Wilson. Run the ball with Chase Edmonds. Running the ball, let your speed receivers go down the field and take a shot based off of play action. The Jets, every time they win these games, the next week they always come out flat. And now they're at home. They can't win ball games at home. They lost to Baltimore and they lost to the Bengals. They only managed to beat the Cleveland Browns off of some fluke onside kick play, and they beat the Pittsburgh Steelers minus TJ Watt. But this is another reason why I like the Dolphins. The Dolphins have always had the Jets number back in 2020. This is a reason why I even like the Dolphins here. So give me Miami to win this ball game and to cover. Dolphins win 26-16. The battle for first place in the NFC South. The Atlanta Falcons at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa is favored by 8.5 against Atlanta. Tampa Bay to win the cover. There's a reason why I like the Buccaneers in the spot. The Buccaneers have the better offense and the better defense and the better head coach. All right. Tom Brady is pissed despite having the divorce rumors about him and Gisele Bündchen. I think that Tom Brady's going to come out pissed. He has always owned the Falcons in his career. Last year when they played in Tampa, Tom Brady ate him up alive, including that defense against Matt Ryan and Cordero Patterson, who is out for this game. So I like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win the cover. I think the Buccaneers will score a boatload of points on this Falcons defense. I'm going to take Tampa to win 38-20. The Tennessee Titans at the Washington Commanders. Tennessee is favored by 2.5 over Washington. Tennessee Titans to win in the cover against Washington. Number one, Washington can't stop the run. All right. Carson Wentz has lost all confidence, as I'm seeing recently. Couldn't move the chains against Dallas like I called last week. Couldn't do anything. And I think when is Ron Rivera going to start getting impatient about Carson Wentz? Because we've seen with these defensive head coaches, they get very impatient. It's exactly what I'm going to see with Washington. I think Washington's going to get very impatient about this whole thing. I think they might even move on to maybe Sam Howell. I don't think they're going to move on to Taylor Heinicke because they've already seen what happened with him a couple of years ago. But I think that the Titans have always frustrated Carson Wentz when he was in Indianapolis, and especially when he was in Philadelphia. Carson Wentz is an 0-3 record against the Tennessee Titans in his career, and I think it's going to jump to 0-4. Ryan Tannehill and Derrick Henry will move the ball all over this Washington defensive front, and including that secondary that came a matchup good against Robert Woods. I'm going to take the Tennessee Titans, and I'm going to pound it down hard. So give me the Titans to win this game and to cover against Washington. Titans win 23-17. San Francisco 49ers at the Carolina Panthers. San Francisco is a 6.5 point favorite at Carolina. I'm going to take the 49ers to win this game in the cover. 49ers on the road have really good stat line. Kyle Shanahan, whenever he goes on the road, we have seen his past couple times again. When he went to Philadelphia, had a good game. When he went to Lions last year, had a good game. Even before that, back in 2020, when he went on the road to New England and both New York teams, he has always had his way and pretty much outscored the teams to perfection. I think he has a really good record on the road. He will bring that from San Francisco onto the East Coast. Baker Mayfield is playing completely like a backup quarterback at this point. I don't know. We just can't make excuses for Baker at this point. That's all I gotta say. We can't make excuses. DJ Moore is not doing it as well because Baker is a wide receiver one killer. And against this San Francisco defense that held the Rams to 9 points on Monday night, I think they take down to Carolina and hold the Panthers to pretty much season lows. And let's not talk about the San Francisco 49ers, the second ranked defense, and especially against the run, which Baker has played well whenever the running back actually runs the ball. Not in this spot. So give me the San Francisco 49ers to defeat the Carolina Panthers. San Francisco wins, let's say 24-13. Dallas Cowboys at the Los Angeles Rams. Dallas is a 5.5 point dog on the road in Los Angeles down in SoFi. I'm going to take the Cowboys to cover, but I think the Rams win. The Rams are not showing me anything to give them 5.5 points. They're not showing me anything. The Cowboys are doing the most they can to manage the game, run the ball, pass the ball to CeeDee Lamb as much as possible as they can. And I think the Rams, they haven't showed me anything. They beat the Cardinals, okay? They beat the Falcons. The Cardinals start off slow. The Falcons, we know what the Falcons are. But when they go against good shot fighters like the Buffalo Bills and the San Francisco 49ers, they get bludgeoned to death, all right? So I like the Rams in this spot just to get a pity win at this point, because I think the Cowboys could potentially go into SoFi and win this game. But I think the Rams are the better team with Aaron Donald against that Cowboys offensive line. So I'm going to take the Rams, Cooper Kupp, and Jalen Ramsey. I'm taking them in this game. Stafford will not have a good game in this matchup against Micah Parsons and that Cowboys defense. But the Cowboys defense, mind you, is very spotty. So I like the Cowboys to cover, but I think the Rams will win it. Won't be surprised if Dallas wins. I'm going to go with the Rams. Rams win 27-24 over Dallas. The Philadelphia Eagles at the Arizona Cardinals. Philadelphia is a 5.5-point favorite against Arizona. I'm just going to call for the upset. Arizona wins and upsets Philadelphia. Kyler starts off very slow. I understand that. But this Cardinals team has not won a game at home in about forever. All right. And I think this is the part where they get back on the grind because they're desperate at this point. I think they're very desperate. Despite being 2-2 in that division, they need to start winning some games at home despite being well on the road. And I think giving the Eagles 5.5 is not too much, but I just smell some type of upset just happening. Fox, whoever network it does, they always like to put these weird games that it just happens in the NFL. It just happens in the NFL. The NFL has these weird games. Like, how did that team upset this team? I think this is the game right here. I'm going to just call for the upset. I like the Cardinals here. Kyler Murray can extend plays. Hopefully, let's see what happens with Marquise Brown and potentially AJ Green coming back. But I really like the Cardinals. Now I have the Cardinals winning and beating the Philadelphia Eagles. Cardinals win 28-24. Sunday Night Football, Cincinnati Bengals at the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens are a 3-point favorite against Cincinnati. Cincinnati upsets and defeats the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens came and win games at home. They lost to Miami, they lost to Buffalo, but beat the Patriots, who are now 1-3, and beat the Jets, who are now 2-2. Actually, really should have been 1-3. If it wasn't for Kenny Pickett actually picking and throwing picks in the game. The Bengals have always had the Ravens number last year. Both games resulted in the Bengals scoring 41 points. And with Lamar, they scored 17. And without Lamar, they scored 21. But in this one, their defense, the Baltimore Ravens defense has gotten worse since last year. They can't hold on to these leads. And Baltimore, I don't know how they're going to do it, but they hadn't seen anything to handle with Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, even their running back with Joe Mixon and their newly acquired tight end in Hayden Hurst. So I really like the Bengals here in the spot. Bengals will upset and beat the Ravens. Cincinnati wins 31-27 and defeat the Baltimore Ravens. We had Las Vegas Raiders traveling to Kansas City to play the Chiefs. Chiefs are favored by 7 points over Las Vegas. Kansas City to win the cover. Kansas City since 2018 against the Raiders, they have averaged 37.4 points per game. And the Raiders have always been outscored more than any other team in their division by the Chiefs. They've been outscored. So I really like Kansas City in this game. Kansas City, flying from Tampa back to Kansas City, Missouri. I think they always put down the Raiders despite being on the road or at home. I think 7 points, I can swallow that and take it home. Anyways, Derek Carr going to Kansas City. I understand that he has struggled with Kansas City, and he will in this game. Despite Kansas City being bad against the pass, Derek Carr turns over the ball sometimes. That's what I don't like about Derek Carr. The public is all over the Raiders and the 7 points. If it would go to 7.5, I won't be surprised if everybody taking the Raiders in the 7.5. But I'm going to take the Kansas City Chiefs to win in the cover against the Las Vegas Raiders. Chiefs win and cover against Vegas. Kansas City wins 34-24. And that is my picks. I want to thank you guys so much for watching No Offseason Media with your host, Amari Sports. Don't forget to drop a like. Don't forget to leave a comment and subscribe for more content available and click the notification bell wherever it may be. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Amari Sports signing off. Peace. Hey, I know you see that subscribe button, and I know you see that notification bell. Why don't you just click it? Go ahead. And if you want to tune into more videos, just go ahead and look at this new video that I just posted right here, or go see some of my playlists on this channel.